Roll Turn.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Queers and Soaps. I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts.
Eric, how are y'all?
Anyway, we're watching as the world turns from November's 9th to the 13th. Friday the 13th was the end episode. So let's roll the credits, and it's 1987.
But this was an excellent week.
Excellent week. Oh my gosh, the sweeps were definitely sweeping.
Oh my God, they were in
the sweeps
all
were
cylinders.
sweeping. Oh my gosh,
Everything
and
was happening.
Thing that we've been hinting that was gonna happened with Lily and Holden.
Yeah. Oh, why are you talking about that? I was talking about James. I'm like, finally, I got what I wished for. I'm like, who done it?
I knew you were talking about James, and I just wanted to add that Holden got it this
Oh
week.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I have things to say about Holden. What a mess.
This is a whole this teen quad, I guess if you add Pam, is a whole mess.
All right, so let's start. So November 9th, or November 9th, 1987. Holden overhears Lucinda talking to Tonio about taking Steve's house or something. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, so his house has been abandoned for obvious reasons because obviously Steve's in jail or prison, I guess. Steve's in prison. Betsy lives with the Stewarts, I think. So
Tonio's staying at the house because he's not with Meg, right?
And Steve, I didn't know this until I was reading a little bit of the book because I was like, I need to find out what all this is. Steve built that house with his bare hands. Like he built that house. You saw how big the house was.
Yeah.
So that's the last shred of Steve. Oh, we'll get to it. I was excited about this week. I'm sorry.
Poor Steve and Betsy fans. I still feel bad for them. Babs is worried about Paul. Hal's like kind of there for her in the situation, and plus, I guess involved because nobody told the cops anything, so they're all like, oh. James is shocked that
with their head cut off.
Yeah, James is shocked with Emily being pregnant, and he's like, he gets really, like I said, weirder because like he's like, oh, now I'll have this son, and like Paul's overhearing what he's saying, and I'm like, what is happening? This is so weird. Goes on about his new life and starting over on this island and blah blah blah, whatever he's been saying the past like 5 weeks. Lucinda harasses Ambrose. He apparently is hosting Nancy and Ronald Reagan at dinner. Did you catch that?
I caught that.
He's like, I don't care, or she's like, I don't care what you have about Nancy and Ronnie. Like, what's going on with that? But I need you now, darling. Holden talks to Lucinda. She thinks he's using Lily and all that stuff, and he says that he will tell her everything. She goes off on him, as always. Same conversations. The cops get a lead with the helicopter that's supposed to go to James, so they kind of cut it off at the pass, so then he has to get a hold of another helicopter somehow. Meg worries about Tonio. He's still mad that he thinks that she slept with James. Do you want to go into what you told me? Or you said you had?
Yes, let me pull up I screenshotted it from the book so I wouldn't have to bring the book with me into the stream. So James was waiting for Meg. James was waiting for Meg under the sheets. He told her that Tonio was working for him, and if she said a word about this visit, he would tell Tonio she had seduced him. When Tonio came home and found that someone had been wearing his robe, he accused Meg of adultery. So she didn't sleep with him.
We kind of figured it out, but like we weren't 100% sure because we were like, why would she sleep with him? But then he's been sleeping with every other 18-year-old, so we weren't really sure.
Meg's more like 20, early 20s.
But now it's confirmed. But she's still young enough to be disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, she probably does some more disgusting things later, but we're not going to mention that right now.
James calls on Monica to help with his escape. Corinne overhears. So they're all involved in this mess, of course.
Hmm.
Duncan and Shannon are at the castle. He goes to search, like down below. I don't know if he heard something or something was going on, but he hears, Charles, his right hand man, who he trusts for many years, who turned on him and works for James now. He hears them or whatever, and they fight. I really loved how this was set up. Like it's kind of like all of this crazy stuff happened, but we didn't know exactly how we got to this point.
Yeah.
His name's Charles Pearson. I made note. John's upset with Lucinda because she doesn't tell him anything. He hears her say she will get rid of James herself, and then he kind of just leaves, so we don't know where he's going.
Hmm.
Um, Lucinda's like losing her marbles, it seems. So, at this point, she just is like almost having a breakdown. And
Yeah.
of course, James calls her, and then it gets worse. And he's like, I want a helicopter, or I'll kill all of your family members, and then I'll kill you after how miserable you're going to be, and all this stuff. Um, she gets her tiny gun ready,
Oh,
ready to go. A
Lucinda
little
got
white,
your gun.
little tiny. It's
Little
so
tiny
cute.
gun.
I really need to know if this gun's going to kill somebody. I really hope it's used eventually. I need to know. Like, she has to empty that thing into somebody to kill them, I feel like.
Or at least mortally
Um,
wound them.
so little. Emily goes off on James. She pulls her gun. Someone's honking outside, so we don't know. I guess it's James's connection. I don't know what it is. Nobody really knows, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, the dude from Wyoming, I forget his name. W? Begins with a W?
Oh my gosh. Oh
That's
my
what
gosh,
you
you said
remembered
his
it
name
last time.
and I forgot.
Wilson? I don't know. Whatever his
Wilson,
name,
yeah.
whatever his name is. Ask Dusty why Holden
Wayland,
and
no.
Lily.
Is it Wayland?
I don't think so,
I don't think
but
it's
it
Wayland.
might be.
No. I'm thinking of Wayland
Um,
Smithers or Wayland
but
Jennings.
he, but he asks why Holden and Lily are still together because he's like Holden's not right for her, and I get it because
Yeah.
he just
See,
bugs
when
me the shit
somebody
out of
out
me.
of town comes in and sees what they see.
Right, the truth. Pam and Lily are also at the table, or not there yet, but Pam's there and Lily comes in again, whatever. They're just out to dinner.
Hmm.
So Nick is locked in the cellar. I don't, did we know Paul locked him in at that time, or did we find out through these episodes? Because remember he gets locked in the cellar, but I didn't notice Paul do it, but we find out later that Paul did it,
Was it the
that
last
locked him in.
episode of the last of the Friday episode from the previous week that we found out, or
No, I don't think so. I
was it?
didn't
Okay,
know. I didn't
I think it was these episodes then.
know it was this episode that he got locked in the cellar or wherever that room. I forget what room it's called, but I have it later. But anyway, he's locked wherever he was, and he drops a cigarette, and there's, something's going to happen with that. Um, we
Wasn't there a
hear
scene where
gunshot.
James is like, "Damn it, Nick, put out that thing. You're gonna blow us all up."
Yeah,
Predicted like
and
to
it happened.
happen.
Um, we hear gunshots. Then Meg gets Holden and wants to meet with him. Tonio gets in. He said something about we got to get our story straight, so we know something went down. Babs gets out of her apartment, like without the cops even like seeing that she went.
Hmm.
Lucinda has her gun, and we see James is dead. And I put yay. So like all of this stuff. So then, okay, or he looks dead. He has his eyes
It's pretty
open,
dead.
laying on the floor, whatever. So the possible suspects, I believe, are, let me know if you miss any, or I miss any. Tonio, Babs, Lucinda, Duncan, Emily. I put Paul, question mark. I wasn't sure if maybe like something happened and he might have done it.
The five stuff.
Corinne, Monica, Holden, and John.
So that's 9.
No, 10.
Oh, it's 10. Oh,
Tonio, Babs, Lucinda, Duncan, Emily, Paul, Corinne, Monica, Holden, John.
John. Okay, I didn't hear John. Okay, that's what we're working. That's 10
um,
unusual suspects.
Yeah,
Equal
so
suspects. If you
it's
if
fun.
you
And I
agree.
don't think at this point we didn't know for sure if John did, but I assumed once John walked away from Lucinda that he probably went, like, was it going to be involved somehow?
Hmm.
But we don't officially find out till in another episode or two. Um, so 11/10/87. Tonio and Meg go over their stories, basically trying to get ready for the cops. So she knows something's going down. She doesn't really know exactly what yet. Nick's trying to get out of that locked room. Lucinda runs out after James grabs her
Grabs
ankle.
her ankle. Yes.
I didn't know exactly what happened until she was telling her story. I'm like, okay, so that's what
Yes, I
happened.
saw it. I saw when she screamed and ran out. I was like, oh my gosh.
And then who was lurking in the shadows?
Barbara? Was it Barbara?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Babs was there. So I'm like, so yeah, Lucinda was this way, Babs was over here. So everything's dark and we don't see anything. It's crazy.
Hmm.
Then the place blows up.
And the
Which,
opening credits are have like
yeah.
the fire just like surrounds the screen and then it leaves the screen as you see the opening credits and you hear that
Yeah.
bam. That was great.
So yeah, it was. Margot and the others get to the house. They find Babs wet and in shock. Um, Lisa and Earl worry. I just wanted to point out that they're on. They don't really do anything.
I didn't
Duncan
really
comes
know.
back. Duncan's hurt. He like something's wrong with his shoulder or his chest. We don't really know at this point. Sierra tells Lily everything that was going on, which I was confused at how Sierra found out. Like who told her everything in
Yeah,
this short amount of
I
time?
mean, I'm sure
It
Lucinda
just
probably
happened.
did off screen.
I guess so. She tells everything with Lucinda and James. She says she thinks that Craig's still alive, and it had to do with him and the
Hmm.
blackmail and all that stuff. Lucinda gets home. John is there, creeping in the dark. I hate
Hmm.
when people do that. I'm like, how long do people wait for people in like the dark when they get in these situations?
Yeah.
Like nobody does that in real life. Like nobody's
No, they
waiting at
don't.
your house just like creeping in a corner. Like it's real weird. Um, but I guess it's his place too, so whatever. He can creep while he
Yeah.
wants. Lucinda seems in good spirits. Like she seems very happy for this. So I guess because she knows that James is most likely dead.
Hmm.
She just seems like she knows, she's cool. Of course, he goes on about being mad at her, blah blah blah. You don't tell me anything. Me. Go along, they mention the cops and Babs, and Babs is out of it still. And then
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, this is Paul's jacket," and she's like, "Paul, Paul, Paul."
Like, Paul,
Um,
well, I just want to say that like Colleen Zink does like a really good job with like the whole hysterics of thinking that her child might have blown up in Steve's house.
and she does because she's both in shock, and then she like snaps and like, "Oh my God, my paw!" Like her son
Hmm.
is missing, and she goes bonkers basically, and then she passes out.
Hmm.
We find out Duncan is shot. He got shot. Um, as he shot Charles in self-defense. I like that they didn't show any of that too. Like it would have
Yeah.
been fun to see, but at the same time, since we didn't know what happened, we're like, how did he get shot? Like, did James
Hmm.
shoot him? Like, we don't know. But yeah, Charles had shot him, I guess, and I think like he said he got grazed in the arm or shoulder or something. The other
Hmm.
dude got shot and is dead. Says he went to look for James and he found some kind of key on Charles for like a lockbox or something, which don't we don't see like what happens with the lockbox yet, right? I don't think in these
Not yet.
episodes. Okay, so we don't really know what that's about. Meg and Tonio talk. They seem okay for now. Like Meg's like, "Will you stay with me?" Like, he's like, "Does anybody know I've been living in wherever he's living?" She's
Hmm.
like, "No, she didn't tell anybody. It's all good." Pam and Dusty are on. I just wanted to make a note of that. They don't do anything really in this episode. Lily goes to Lucinda.
You said
Says
Pam
that
and
she has.
Dusty.
I'm sorry.
You said Pam and Dusty, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
Pam
making
and
sure.
Dusty. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do much.
No, they're just kind of hanging around and whatever. Um, Lily goes to Lucinda. She says that she understands. They hug. We're like, oh, this warm family moment. Not for long.
Not for long.
Um, the cops find this treasure. Maybe that's what the key was for. It's like this weird box with like jewels and stuff in it. Like, what the hell is that
hmm
about? Is that what that box? I don't know. I'm confused by that too. I don't know what that's about. The cops let Duncan go after questioning him. I feel like Duncan should just like live at the police station. He's always
Yeah, he
there.
gets
Like
questioned
he's
all the
either
time.
there, he's always getting questioned, or he's just like going to try to tell them that things are happening and they don't listen to him. Like,
Yeah, we don't.
oh gosh, I wish Duncan would just join the police force at this point. Just be like, you know what? Screw it. I'm joining you guys because you guys suck. Holden goes to the police station. He said that he was at the house. Lily tells Lucinda Holden is the reason that she's there. So, you gotta be nice to him. And what does what does Lucinda do?
She tells Lily that he knew. That
Yeah.
Holden knew that she was adopted.
Now of course Lily doesn't believe her. And she's like, "You're lying, blah blah blah." That ends that episode. So the next one is Wednesday that week, 11/11. Bob talks to Babs at the hospital. He's like trying to help her because now she's there. Everything moves really quick in this week too. Like
Yeah,
everybody's just
very
here, there,
quick.
and
Yeah.
everywhere. Right? Um, she's still worried about Paul. She's still getting out of control. I think they sedate her at some point. Um, Holden tells Roy about what he saw at the house. Lily doesn't believe Lucinda. She explains why Holden is bad for her. Um, Lily says she destroyed her whole life. Also dramatic. Betsy's back. This
Yeah.
poor girl. She
Poor
works once a
Betsy.
month. She works once a month. I mean, I guess
Poor
she's
Lindsay
making.
Frost too.
Yeah, it's like sad.
Yeah.
She goes to see Rod. Hal chats with her a little bit. Um, so I did make note that this was all done at like the James killing and all this stuff was at the house Ruxton Hills. What is
Ruxton
Ruxton
Hills. Yeah.
Hills?
Ruxton Hills.
Do you
Yeah.
know? Is it like a vacation house? Like, do you know anything about it? Is that where?
Ruxton Hills is actually Betsy and Steve's house that Steve built.
Oh, that's the house that
That's
Steve
the
built.
house. Ruxton Hills is Steve's house. So that's why I said that they basically got rid of any last remaining bits of Steve.
Uh,
So
so nobody lived at this house. Is that
nobody lived in this house because Betsy is living
anymore?
with in the cabin, the Stewart cabin, I think, with Emily.
Just do it. Okay. Um,
So that's why I forgot who told Betsy about it. I forgot who told Betsy about it, but she's like, yeah, that was
oh, Hal.
yeah, Hal
Hal
told
does.
Betsy about the house because it's her house by
Oh,
marriage.
gotcha. Yeah, Hal fills Betsy in on James and the house. Dr. Michaels gets involved with Bab's case because she's gonna need somebody if Paul
Yeah,
doesn't show up soon. Holden gives his thoughts to Roy of like what's going on. He's still at the police station. He saw Emily and Paul talk. James came in. Emily pointed a gun, and he went to get like a stick or something. He said, and then he saw a high heel footprint.
mm,
And then cars came, and he saw James and Emily hugging. So yeah, so we're getting little parts. I like how they did this in like little parts, and
mhm,
different people get questioned. I thought it was fun. It was a little different than like normal things.
yeah,
And then he left, so he didn't do anything after that. Corinne and Monica get home all wet. She's like, get rid of anything. We can have no chases of James, and she's like, whatever. Monica's still weird.
yeah.
Um,
She doesn't she like hold her chest to like
yeah, I
hide
guess
the
that
brooch.
Yeah, I guess the brooch, like he got her, and she's like, "Oh yeah," I'm like, just don't see it. It's on you, girl. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you're holding your chest and you're not having a heart attack.
Betsy visits Rod and tells him to fight and all this stuff. Rod looked like shit. I don't know
He
if it
really
was the
did.
quality. He did.
Yeah,
I'm like, is
great
he like
makeup.
literally? He looks bad. He looked
Hmm.
blue almost. Um, I thought he was gonna wake up, but he don't. He's in a coma, I
Nope.
guess. Babs talks to Hal. Um, she just goes on like Emily screamed. Well, she thought Emily screamed. There was an explosion, fire everywhere. James was dead, and all this stuff. Betsy gets home, and Emily and Paul are there, so they're fine. I also wonder the timeline with this. I wonder if we're going to see exactly what happened. I would hope so. Just instead of like all the little glimpses, like we don't know
Yeah.
exactly. Lily tells Dusty that Holden knew, and she says it's over with him and all this stuff and whatever. Roy
Hmm.
questions Corinne and Monica about the case of Jules, whatever that is. Monica brings up um, Dusty again.
Hmm.
I'm like, is she trying to like point? What is she doing? She's always throwing Dusty under the bus, and he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
This boy is good. Gets on my nerves. Dusty and Lily kiss. He says he loves her. I'm like, Pam, who?
Pam who? Yeah, I was like, what about Pam?
Didn't
That's the one time where
even.
I actually cared about Pam. I was like, wait, isn't he with Pam? Weren't they like
I
kissing and canoodling
didn't
and stuff?
even mention her.
Didn't
Nobody. Nothing.
mention
Nope.
the girl. Like,
Nope. That's a
no,
Pam who.
Pam who? He just was like, look, Lily is mine again. I can get her back. Yes. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what,
that's
like,
sad.
weren't you just canoodling with Pam? Like,
Yeah, canoodling. Babs says Lucinda screamed, so she remembered that Lucinda screamed and it wasn't Emily. Roy questions Lucinda. She says she doesn't care about what happened. Dusty and
same.
Lily bang. Boom.
Yeah, they have, and apparently it was Lily's first time.
Was it? Is that?
Yep, she did say that in dialogue, and it was her first time.
Oh, nice. I missed that.
Yeah,
Um, well, that's good. At least they made the
that's
teens
good.
wait until
Yes,
they were
it wasn't
18.
Holden. Yes.
Yeah, I know, right? Holden arrives and that's the end of that one.
It's the end of that ship
Stupid
for
ass.
now.
I don't know why. I don't. I, I I need a lot for him to earn me back because he's terrible. Especially, he's a fucking lunatic. Okay. So November 12th, 1987. Tom and Margot are on the scene. Some old dude. Who's the old dude in that scene? Did you know?
The
Is that
cop.
Earl? Was it the cop?
The cop was it. What? Oh my gosh, McCluskey. I forgot his name.
Oh, that guy. Okay, I
Yeah, the
forgot about
one.
him because
Well,
he's not really
I'm
on
not gonna
much.
spoil what happens with McCluskey, but he does wind up
Well,
with somebody.
I don't care because
Kind of
I don't even
already
see him
saw
that.
who he was with
I
in
don't
the scene,
even
but
see him that much.
yeah,
Um,
you don't see him.
but
Dan, I
he
think his
tells
name
them what's
Dan
going
McCluskey.
on.
I forgot.
I forgot because he hasn't been on
Lieutenant
for a long
Let's
time.
just call him Lieutenant McCluskey. Yeah.
Paul, Emily, and Betsy go to see Babs. Lucinda calls Ambrose to meet her at the station. Wakes him up as always. I feel like he's always sleeping somewhere. When she follows. He's like 24
He's
hours on
definitely not
call.
her darling.
I, I don't know. Some of these people are so loyal to a fault. I'm like, I guess
Yeah.
I'm loyal that way, but I guess I've never been tested. Like nobody's ever called me at like whatever time to try to wake me up for something. Um, Whatever. I guess it's nice for him to be needed 24 hours a
Yeah. Hey, look, if it gets his money in his wallet.
day. Yeah, I guess so. I guess if you're paying the right money, then I guess whatever.
Hmm.
Um, Lily goes off on Holden. she says that we made love to each other. I'm like, you know what? I've never heard that said on the soap
Never heard
before.
that. So we made love to each other, huh?
Yeah, because she's like, he made love to you. She's like, we made love to each other. I'm like, oh, all right. I never heard
Okay,
it put that
Lily.
way. Get it?
Get him again, girl.
Holden says they belong together. Dusty says, get out. Holden's like, she's mine, and they're kind of like fighting. She's like, I'm nobody. He's like, what are you doing? Like, what is
What
happening?
are you doing? Come on.
Ugh, Holden just disgusts me. Um, Tom reminds Margot of James saving her life
Hmm.
because she's like, nobody cares about this guy anyway. Why should we even bother? Well, he's like, well, he did save your life one time. Like,
Hmm.
be a little bit nice. I get it, but he did. James is very complicated, I guess,
Yeah, he's
because
complex. Very
he's
complex.
threatening everybody, wants to kill everybody, but yet he saves people randomly. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to think about him. I just know he's disgusting for seducing like 18-year-old people. Um, Casey and Lila are there. They get some time together, and I guess they're only on kind of in glimpses because I guess they're going to get married the following week. Because remember, we
Yeah.
weren't sure if it was going to be this week or next.
Third week of sweeps, we get a wedding. Yay. Or maybe even the
Hmm.
fourth week. I don't know. No, because it's
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. So I'm sure the week after will be Thanksgiving. So,
Uh, it might not
right?
be because what's it? 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th to the
Oh, right, because there's probably
uh,
five
it might be the week
Thursdays.
after, but
Yeah, it might be the week
we'll see.
after that. Yeah.
So they talk about James and stuff, and then they're like kissing, and then his nephew comes down and interrupts them. Because there's just kids and family everywhere. Roy,
Family everywhere. Family everywhere.
Roy questions Lucinda again. She says she was trying to help. She said she was going to go stop him somehow. Roy takes her gun. He's like, "You stop your gun." She has it in her little purse, tiny baby gun.
Hmm.
He's like, "Don't touch it." He takes it out with whatever, a plastic bag. She's like, "I saw a flicker of lights. She heard shots. The door open. Took her gun out just to protect herself.
Hmm.
Um, heard a car. Saw James dead. He grabbed her ankle and she ran out." Ambrose is like, "It's good that you got the truth out. You did tell the truth, right?" And she also saw like a man in a raincoat running. So there's all kinds of people going.
It's
There's
all
all kinds of
kinds of
action.
it's all kinds of shenanigans at Steve's house.
I know. I really want to see all of this play out.
And now, part two of As the World Turns.
Um, Hopefully
Probably
we
in
get to
February sweeps. We'll see.
it. Oh God, I don't want to wait that long. I'm probably right.
Well, no, yeah, we do got Christmas, then we got January, then we got February. So hey,
Yeah.
hopefully we
Hopefully
get
we
the
have
episode.
those.
I was about
Yeah.
to say
Hopefully we have those. 'Cause we didn't get any of February this year or
any of February,
87.
nothing in
Right.
'87.
Um,
Which,
Dusty
by the
and
way,
Lily.
I do want to say that we will be covering '88. So stay tuned.
Yeah, because I had texted. I said I need more. I can't stop watching.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to take a break from As the World Turns. I need more.
Not even a
Dust,
week, not even 1 week, just a single week. Just
just maybe Christmas. No, maybe. Dusty and Lily. Someone is screaming Lily outside.
Yeah,
I was so confused by this. I'm like, he couldn't be. So I just made note of that. But then we do see him eventually. We'll get into that in a minute.
yeah.
Babs tells Paul to say nothing about the gun. She's like, don't tell him anything, blah, blah, blah. Then how come? She's like, oh, tell him everything you know. I'm like, dude, this poor kid. This kid, he's going to have some emotional trauma in the very
Hmm.
near future. Margot and Tom get to Lila's. They've actually been getting along and they've kind of been. Why does like Tom have to be around? What is he? Is he the DA? What is he?
He's That's the thing. I thought Jessica was the DA because he left town. So I don't know what he is now because he came
Yeah,
since he
but
came
because he's with Margot. Like they're almost like paired up. a lot with like taking care of this investigation, which I think is kind of
I
weird.
know he's
The
some kind
past
of
doing
lawyer, but I don't know if he's the
okay.
DA at this point because I know that they gave that role to Jessica when he left.
Yeah, because he's with her for some reason. Then
Yeah.
maybe just like support. I don't know. But it seems like he's on the case. So they get to Lila's. Casey asks about them while Margot goes in with Lila. Um, Tom said he isn't pushing anymore. He's just laying back because they're more friendly together when he lays back. Yeah, that's how it works. It's too much of something, you know. Pam tries calling Dusty, but his phone's off the hook.
Mm.
I know. John's still upset with Lucinda. What else is new? She finds out she finds out that Babs is the one that said she was at the house. Oops. Paul tells Hal everything. He locked Nick in the generator room. That's what room it was.
Uh,
Because he had a gun and he didn't want him to hurt anybody. Um, Holden saying creepy shit and screaming her name, Lily's name, outside, or like a lunatic, like a werewolf. I'm
okay,
like, what is
before you go
wrong with
on,
him? Go ahead. Go ahead. What you talking about?
I'm not okay. I'm not defending Holden or anything like that. What I am doing is I am making fun of Holden for all that hate he has to take off.
He is a
He was
nutcase.
angrily haying like, I don't want to be a farm boy. I want to be with Lily. Ah.
Uh, he's
That
so
was
annoying.
because anytime he deals with hay,
Like, were there real? Did you read like any of these comments say anything that they like Holden and Lily together at this time? Because if they
I
do, those people are
didn't.
nuts.
So I didn't read the comments this time because I was watching it on my tablet. And on my tablet, it's a little hard. I wanted to do a full screen with the volume all the way because I think my so there were issues some people were having with one of the episodes that I didn't have on my tablet, but I did on my phone. So so
Right.
because I was watching on my tablet, I didn't get a chance to see the comments in the video.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so unfortunate, except for when they said that there was no sound.
Well, audience, if you liked Lily and Holden in 1987, please comment why. Tell me what your
Yeah, so I
reasoning
do
is.
know that people did love Lily and Holden in the beginning. Like, when did he come on? Was it 85 or 86?
One of them, yeah.
It was one of them. I know they
85,
did like him when he
86,
like
yeah.
jumped down from like he jumped down from the thing, from the stables, I guess. I don't know what he did. But I saw a clip of it.
Well,
Uh
he crazy. So Paul tells, I guess, yeah, he's still talking to Hal, and he says that he saw John leaving the house. That's the end of that episode. And then we're on Friday the 13th, 1987, which I
Ooh.
wonder if a Friday the 13th came out that year. Probably, because there was like 10 of them. So,
That's a good point. Yeah.
I don't know if they ever released one on a Friday the 13th. I'll have to look into that.
I mean, they seem
Um,
like they release it before Halloween, like they do every movies, right? Every
yeah, they seem to, I think. I don't know.
either that or
So
February.
this episode starts out with Holden being a lunatic, screaming Lily and shit.
Lily, Lily.
So weird. Dusty and Lily are
So
still sleeping
weirdo.
together, and Lily like hears it, but she's like, he's not still here. And I'm like, I don't, I was confused by that too. I'm like, is she hearing him scream Lily, or is he actually doing it? I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, how close is Dusty's house from Luther's Corners, which is
I don't
where the
know.
Snyders are at?
I don't know. Hal calls Margot and asks about John. Is John still there? Because, this is what happened. He saw John driving up the driveway as
Hmm.
Paul and Emily were leaving, I guess. Margot asks John to stay at the station. He knows that she knows he was there. Um, Emily fills Hal in on her daddy issues. Her her bond with Paul is their love for James. So that's why she wanted to go, and like she says that she wanted to protect Paul basically and do whatever she could. Um, Emily says that she brought the gun from Fashions because Barbara had a gun
Hmm.
there and
In her
at
drawer.
her place because she should, because James was a freaking
Yeah,
lunatic.
James is just out there. Well, was, but it was out there, like
Yeah,
just roaming around, like, and nobody cared.
right. Iva finds Holden depressed in the barn. Just he might as well be rocking back and forth like a lunatic that he is, but he's just sitting there like whatever. He 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 fills her in on Lucinda telling Lily, and his little heart is broken. Blah blah blah. Meg Meg.
I don't usually laugh when you say blah blah blah, but in this case, that got me.
We don't say blah blah blah. Did you ever see
Blah
those
blah
memes?
blah. Poor
Hotel
hole. Boo
Transylvania.
hoo.
Check out Hotel Transylvania. That's where it goes. Blah blah blah. Um, Meg has a nightmare about Tonio killing James, and the Nightmare on Elm Street music is on in it, which
Oh,
cracked me up. Yeah, I loved it. I was like, I never heard that music used in anything but Nightmare on Elm Street, so I didn't think that was a thing. But yeah,
yeah.
um, but yeah, James gets up and that music is playing. She wakes up with Tonio, and
With
she's
like a
like, "I'm gonna leave."
candle, like a
Yeah,
like a thing, like a little candle thing
it
with
was
like,
weird. So
yeah.
does do you, Meg couldn't be a suspect, right? Like we don't think she was around.
She can't be a
She,
suspect.
yeah, she's everywhere, but that house. But
It's
maybe she
everybody
is. I don't
everywhere,
know.
but not all at once.
That's why I'm afraid. I want to look up like I want like a cover from that time to see like that picture that you sent me. I wonder if there was a cover for that, but I'm afraid to look it up because if you put like who shot or who did it, you'll see who did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
because like
I don't
when I was
want to
looking for that
know.
when I was looking for the picture that I sent you, all I did was I put Emily, Lucinda, and Barbara in Google. I couldn't find it, but I was like, wait a minute, it's in my book. So I took a picture of
Oh,
the.
that picture was in your book.
Yeah, it's in the book in under
Oh,
1987.
or
Yeah,
in my book too that I have somewhere.
yeah, it's in our book. Yep.
So she wakes with Tonio. Tonio actually stayed at her house or with her finally.
Hmm.
I guess, murder brings you closer together.
Love and murder can keep us together.
Yeah. Um, Emily says that she went to bring Paul home. She says this was, did this gross you out? You know what I'm going to say? She says that James was like a lover, is her lover, and like a father to her. Who says that? Who says that? No one. That's disgusting. Like,
Oh, that's
no,
daddy issue. That's serious daddy issues. I'm wondering.
that, right?
I gotta remember for my history, and if you remember, comment below. Although it's going to probably be 3 weeks out, and I'll probably figure it out by then. Is who is Emily's father, and do we ever see him again, or have we seen him at some point?
And please never refer to your lover as a father to you because that is just not right. It's not right.
It's giving. I will be your father figure.
Uh, anyway, George Michael, we'll move on.
George Michael. Oh my gosh, that song. Oh wait.
How?
Just a brief like tangent. When they played that song in Another World anniversary, I forgot which anniversary. I think it was like maybe the 30th or the 25th. They
Mm,
played that song over a couple making out, and I was like, "No, you don't do that."
really?
Yes, you got. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to send it to you. Like. By the way, Another World is a
Seriously.
show we haven't covered at all. I'm Queers and Soaps.
Oh, I would love to. I love the
I would
early
love to
80s
cover
stuff.
Another World.
The
That
early 80s
show.
stuff is really good.
Oh, that show was so good.
I know I got to get back into that.
Yeah.
Um, Hal questions Babs about her guns. She's like, "Yeah, I have one at the house, one at the store. Once I found James was around, I got
Mhm.
guns." Um, John says he went to kill James. Everybody, I love that everybody seems
Send
to
it. To.
like.
You.
like, I- Who else went to kill James? I forget if it was. the other guy. Oh, Duncan.
Duncan,
They
yeah.
both they both say that they went to kill James. Like I was there in the driveway, and then I was like, you know what? I'm thinking maybe not. And then they like turned around, like he's like, because he says basically the same thing that Duncan said at the police station. He's like, I wanted to kill James, but I thought of Shannon and whatever. And then he's like, I turned around and I didn't want to give that route. I love my Shannon. I went whatever. John basically says the same thing. He's like, I went there for Lucinda, and I'm like, I better not, whatever. So he turned around. That's what they're saying. We don't know if it's true. Whatever. They're just telling us this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wish someone would admit it. Like, I feel like if it were me, I'd be like, James is a fucking monster,
Mm-hmm.
and I did it. Like, I feel like that's what I would do if
Mm-hmm.
it was, because he was. I'm like, so even when they quit, I forget if it happens yet, but we'll talk about it in a minute. I'm almost done, I think. Um, Emily tells that she wanted to stay in. She says that she told James that she wanted to stay in Oakdale with
Mm-hmm.
Paul, and he basically let them leave. That
Mm-hmm.
James let them leave, which I find hard to believe because he's a
Yeah.
lunatic. But I guess that's what happened because remember that's they were driving down, but maybe they got away
Mm-hmm.
after he died. We don't really know exactly. Um, Babs comes clean to Hale about Paul going to with James over the summer when she said that he went to camp and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I really should have trusted you and blah blah blah, but she didn't. And nobody talks to the cops around apparently. Nobody trusts
Wow.
any of the cops. And it kind of makes sense because the cops don't really believe the cops the way they act with Duncan. I wouldn't trust them either.
I wouldn't trust them
Even
either.
I like Margot and she's very smart, but I don't know if I trust her. I don't know, but she hasn't shown any bad signs, and she's one of the smarter cops, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh, John tells Margot he wanted to kill him, but he changed his mind and left. Um, and then of course the car leaving the house, he saw a car leaving when he left the house or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So now I guess we have another suspect. Or it's one of the many people that it could have been Duncan. Who knows? It could have been anybody.
Up in Duncan, yeah.
Um, and John says that he's glad that James is dead. And I am too, because he got on my nerves. He was disgusting. Ew, and I hope we don't
Yeah.
get anybody else like this again. Like liking 18-year-olds, like just seducing them and ew.
Ew.
Um,
It's like
do we
those
find out?
old like websites that have like the countdown until a celebrity turns 18. Like, ew.
Yeah. Hal and Margot are talking, and he mentions that they're checking the skeleton remains. I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming this is Nick.
Yeah.
Hello, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Special guest cat, trying to drink my water.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they're working on those remains to see who it is.
Mm-hmm.
We all know it ain't James,
It's not
and then it's
James.
probably Nick, and hopefully it is Nick because he was annoying. Whatever.
Yeah, Nick will not be missed.
Yeah. R.I.P. Maybe.
R.I.P.
Um, Megan Iva talks. She says she loves her man. She understands him. Blah blah blah. She's worried that Tonio killed James. Could be anybody. There's 10 people. It could be. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's why I don't want to look it up because I'm so afraid. I want to know who it is, but I don't want to know that bad, I guess, because I want to see it play out.
I'm just gonna say, do not
You
look in
know,
your
don't
book.
you?
Do not look in
Okay.
your
You
book. Do
know,
not
don't
look in
you?
your book. Yeah,
You
I may
spoiled
have gotten
me.
spoiled, but I also didn't turn the page. So
Okay. You're like, I gotta stop. Stop it, baby. Um, where was I? Tanuka, Marco, and Roy. Oh, wait, what? Why do I have Marco and Roy question mark?
Margot Roy question who?
I have question. I don't know. I put like question mark. Um, where Antonio killed James, Margot and Roy. I don't know. I don't know why I had that there. Oh, they questioned Tonio again. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I know they questioned somebody.
That's what. That's what I meant. About him saying he was going to kill James to Lucinda,
Mm-hmm.
which we all remember that. Babs tells Hale that she was afraid to go in the house when she got there, that she went in the shed because it was raining. She found
Mm-hmm.
some kind of knife, which I didn't even think a knife came into play, or did it? Did he get
Hmm.
stabbed? We don't know. Oh, guess not because of the fire. We don't know what happened
Yeah, we don't know what
yet.
happened. Yeah.
We're assuming shot, but he
Yeah,
could
we're
have been
assuming shot, but it
stabbed.
could be stabbed.
So yeah, she
Or
said
who
that she
knows?
got a
Maybe everybody like on airplane
an
Dick came
airplane.
into the house and just did one thing.
You would bring up airplane, not. I'm thinking like Murder on the Orient Express. Like everybody had a hand in the
No,
death of
like
that
no, I'm
person.
thinking about the scene where they like slap the woman and there's a line and
No,
then
I know. But I like how you bring up the comedy. I'm like bringing up like the mystery drama. Um, the she went in the shed. Blah, blah, blah. James. Oh yeah. So James was on the floor. She thinks she saw Lucinda, but she wasn't sure it was her. Then there was an explosion. She saw James in flames, basically.
mm-hmm. Or
Um,
in
and I
flames.
guess I guess he stopped, dropped, and rolled at some point because he's still around as we know in the future. Lily and Dustin are being cute by the fire, and then she brings up Pam. Oops.
Oops.
Um, Holden's being broody. Hale and Margot talk about their case. Holden goes to Tonio for a job to take down Lucinda. This should be fun.
This should be good.
Um, Pam comes to Dusty. She's like, "Oh, where were you? The phone was off the hook." And who comes there in the steps looking for something?
Lily.
Oopsies! And Pam's like, "Ooh."
Oh.
So that's all I got. That was good stuff, though. I
That
loved
was
it.
really good
This was a
stuff.
really good
Yeah.
week. And I also like that we still had like little hints of Lila
Mm-hmm.
and
Casey.
Casey because we know their wedding's coming soon, hopefully next week.
Yay.
I'm assuming the police won't figure out this murder case anytime soon.
I don't think they
Could
will.
be, yeah, it seems very complicated and there's many suspects, which I
Mm-hmm.
like. We don't know if everybody's telling the truth. Got to be somebody lying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's why I was almost thinking it might be Meg, but I feel like she's too, I mean, the only thing that makes me suspect her is the dream that she had, the nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
But
No,
besides
Meg's
that,
always daydreaming. She's like one of those like characters that
yeah, that's true.
or has nightmare, or that we see her nightmares or her daydreams.
Yeah, that is
So I don't
true.
think. So I don't think it's necessarily her based off of that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe she's just because they're worried about Tonio and all that
Hmm.
stuff. I don't think it's Tonio. I really don't know who it would be. I mean, it could be anyone.
It literally could just be anybody.
I'm almost thinking that it's somebody that we're not suspecting. I'm almost thinking, I was thinking it was Monica too. Because I'm like, because remember that one part they showed where she was thinking about what her mom told her? She's like, you didn't know that, did you? Now, I don't know. They could have been just like rehashing that, like just
Yeah,
like
or it
a
could be Corinne because she did specifically say, "Get rid of everything that is James Stem around this house."
true, true. I
If we're
don't know.
going off
Like,
of
yeah,
one of the Lawrence's women.
I don't know, but I'm super happy that he's dead because he was really getting on my nerves. I do not think he's the greatest criminal or mastermind
No,
ever.
I mean, I would give that to Male. I would give that to Roger Thorpe.
I would go with Roger. I would go with Stefano. Anybody. I
Not
feel like
Carl
James would be
Hutchins.
the
Do you think
worst.
he's up there?
You know what? I never seen him.
I seen him
I
in
never.
the early '90s, and he
So
scared
my
the crap out of me.
my parts with Another World. I never watched any of it in the '90s. I know of him. Obviously, he's always in the soap mags.
Hmm.
Um, But I started Another World maybe a year or two ago, and I started with on YouTube. Thank God, there's a man that puts like all these episodes on. So I started in '79. So I think I'm
Yeah.
currently
So you're
toward the
watching the
end of.
90-minute episodes.
Yeah, that some of them, and it is a little slow. I see why they stopped the 90 minutes.
Yeah,
There was just too.
basically gave birth to Texas. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But 1980 is really good, and I think I'm toward the end of 1980. I might be 1981. I'm actually where oh my God, what's his name? Ray.
Ray
He
Liotta.
just Ray Liotta, who just passed away a couple years ago. At this point, is still on where I'm
Yeah,
at.
Joe Perini. Yes.
Yeah, I like him too. He's actually pretty good. He's a good character, although he does a lot of stupid things where I'm at. But
Yeah.
whatever. I think he leaves soon where I'm at.
Yeah, they recast him, but the recast doesn't last that long. So because I mean, it's Ray Liotta. Like, come on,
Yeah, probably.
you can't recast Ray Liotta.
Well, I know they kind of revamped the show and where I'm at, around where I'm at too. Like, I think they get rid of a lot of characters that I actually like, and they kind of like bring on a bunch of new ones. From what I read, which sucks because like I thought it was really good in '80, so I don't know what their deal is. So I don't know if their ratings were
Did
low
Harding
or
LeMay
what.
leave at that point? Because I think that's probably what happened.
Who?
Harding LeMay, who's the writer, who was the writer in the
Oh,
'70s.
I don't know any of the
Yeah,
writers. I can't figure that
yeah.
part.
So Harding LeMay wrote. I mean, we're in another. I mean, basically, Another World is a pseudo spinoff of As the World Turns, so we're all still kind of on topic. Harding LeMay wrote this book called 8 Years in Another World, where he talks about his experiences in writing Another World, and like
Okay.
basically, it's basically like an autobiography, but about his time on Another World and stuff like that. I need to get it. I only have a sample of it on Kindle, but I need to get the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's good stuff
I heard
where I'm
really
at.
good things about that book.
But I stopped watching because, we have a lot of stuff to watch.
Yeah.
No time to watch anything else. Um, but anyway, I'm excited to see. Emily needs like severe psychiatric help with her daddy issues.
Yeah.
She can't be calling her lover her daddy. No, she can't do that again. It hurts me.
Yeah, I want to
Um,
know like what happens. I mean, she's still pregnant at this point. Is because she mentions the baby at the beginning, but then she doesn't mention it at all. She doesn't mention the baby at all.
right. Yeah, right. We had no Franny, Sabrina, Seth. They're all out this week. It
Mm-hmm.
was a nice break from them, although
Nice break from them. Yeah.
I like Franny though. Um, so yeah, they're very back burner right
Emma's
now.
not on either.
No, Emma wasn't on, you're right. Iva did make that little appearance. She's been only in a little bit.
Yeah, she might be still in the hospital at this point. Well, just like Josh, who was on, but yeah.
I'm guessing everybody will be back for the wedding.
There wasn't really, and then there wasn't really scenes like at the cafeteria Memorial like there always is.
No, well, I think was Hal and Betsy there? They might have been, or were
Right,
they
yeah, that's
somewhere
right,
else?
because they were, yeah, because,
I
yeah.
can't remember. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm excited to watch more because it was a really good week. So I want to know more.
Mm-hmm. You have anything else you want to cover?
No, how about you?
One last thing, and I forgot to say this when we brought up Lily knowing about, being told that she was, that Holden knew.
That
Martha
Holden.
Byrne did a really good job with that scene. Like, she was just like, I turned away from my tablet and then I heard screaming, and I'm like, oh, she's acting. Yes, I love it. I like when she screams and hollers and everything like that, and she acts like a petulant child. Like, I just love that. Like it brings out like Martha Byrne's like strengths as an actress with Lily.
I do have something else to say now that you brought that up. So, why does Lucinda, like, you just got your girl back?
Mm-hmm.
If you mess with her man, that she's gonna fly off the handle. Like, why wouldn't you just try to keep the peace for a little bit? Like, I don't
The
understand.
son doesn't like Holden, just like we don't like Holden. So
I guess it was because, yeah, I guess that's what the reasoning was, like to make her, tell the truth about Holden. It's just annoying because I'm like, damn it, man. They were just like getting along, and I'm like, oh, whatever. I get it. I get
hmm
it.
yep.
That's all I got. Hopefully, Holden's not on next week. I need a
Yeah.
week off from
I
him.
mean, we know that. I mean, we know that he gets with Pam. So I mean, we're just waiting for it to happen, and I think it's about to
Maybe
happen. So
maybe he'll go back to Wyoming with what's his name, Wilson.
well, no, he's on until John Hensley's on until 1989. So
Well, I want him to go away. Holden needs a
I
break. He
think
needs
he
a
gets
vacation.
better when he's paired with other people. Let's. I think that's what happens. I think he gets better when he's paired with other people. So we'll just see
Hmm.
what happens.
We'll see. We'll
We'll
see.
see.
Will I ever like Holden? Probably not.
I did like I said, I did like him in the when I was watching in the '90s and the 2000s. So
Yeah, but you didn't see the beginning, so
I
like.
didn't see the beginning. No, so I don't like him right now. I was holding on for hope. I was like, for holding on for hope that,
He has to
that
win
he'll
me
be.
over. He has to
Yeah,
win me over.
he has to. There has to be something that makes him like turn a whole new leaf. Like I feel like
Right.
I just feel like
Because
there has to be something
e-
because I liked
even
Holden
in the
in '99.
even in the even in the episode that we watched for Patreon, like I was like, he's still the same Holden to me because he's stalking Lily through Paris. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
all throughout.
so, and
Not
that's
Lily,
what
but
1991,
Lily had good enough sense to run.
right? Sure does. I'd run from his ass too. He's crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of Patreon, subscribe to our Patreon at Queers and Soaps. We have 2 episodes of As the World Turns at this point of this recording. We just are aforementioned 1993 episode where Martha Byrne reappears as Lily. And from 2006, we have the anniversary special part 1 where Maddie and the other teens on the show at the time imagines the families of Oakdale as sitcom characters. So subscribe to our Patreon. If you don't want to subscribe to our Patreon, that's fine. You can follow us online at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, bye.
Bye, everyone.